In an Arizona national forest full of beauty and thriving with wildlife, unnatural changes stand out.
It's such an eyesore because this is so industrial.
Miles Trappenhagen, the program coordinator at Wildlands Network Borderlands, an organization working to protect nature, is talking about this makeshift wall built from shipping containers at the U.S. border in Coronado National Forest, and raises concerns about its impacts on wildlife.
The San Rafael Valley and the Huachuca Mountains are a hotbed for biodiversity. And this is a crucial migration corridor for many species here. The most notable of which is the jaguar.
We've had over 100 cameras down here at the border for the last almost 3 years.
Emily Burns, the program director with Sky Island Alliance, a nonprofit protecting wildlife and habitats, says video captured at Coronado National Forest shows the temporary wall disrupted wildlife crossings and scarred the protected environment deemed an Arizona jewel. Burns now worries more wildlife habitats will be damaged in the process of removing the shipping containers. She credits community members who peacefully protested the wall for bringing construction to a halt.
We think that in the last few weeks of the protests, they probably stopped 1.5 miles of container wall from being built.
This double-stacked container wall began going up in October. And now, less than 3 months later, following a political battle with the U.S. government over authority and trespassing on federal land, former Arizona Republican Governor Doug Ducey agreed to stop operations and remove the containers. Back in August, Ducey ordered the placement of these old shipping boxes to close wall gaps along the Arizona-Mexico border, calling it a temporary response to an emergency crisis at the border. The estimated $95 million job to place 3,000 containers was about a third complete before it was called off. Containers closed nearly a mile of gaps along Yuma County, Arizona, where migrant crossings ballooned last fiscal year and remain high.
Those containers have been serving their purpose and restricting access into the United States.
But conservationists say migrant crossings in this forest are uncommon.
These double-stacked shipping containers are 22 feet tall, and they have razor wire up top. But some gaps are so wide, anyone can walk through and get to the other side.
It's just such a huge waste of taxpayer money.
State contracts released to Scripps News by environmentalists show it will cost taxpayers more than $75 million to remove the containers.
It's not serving any purpose other than, making a blight on the landscape and being a political stunt.
A stunt some say dates back generations.
I study border walls, and I've done so for decades.
Kenneth Madsen, an associate professor of geography at Ohio State University, says border walls can help funnel migrants to one area, but overall, he finds them ineffective.
Border walls have the appearance of being simple. You put them up, you stop people, but in reality, they're just not as effective as people would like them to be, and they do have a lot of other unintended negative consequences.
As heavy machinery moves in to remove containers across the Arizona border, conservationists say they'll be monitoring every move.
We're going to be looking at, are they causing damage in the process?
Dismantling this makeshift wall along the Arizona-Mexico border is expected to take several weeks. Addie Guajardo, Scripps News, Cochise County.